Hello, friends. Welcome back. It's Jibson, and we are here with Football Manager 24, the start of the 23-24 season, the first competitive match with the reborn Català FC. It is September 1st. Last we left off, it was July 1st, the start of the transfer window, and we are now here the day before the first match that we will play with Català. So let's catch you up on what we did in the meantime, and then we'll check out the team that we will be bringing into the first match against Alzira here tomorrow. First, we have striker Vladislav Capotun. So your first question, as you may remember, is I thought this was a Catalan-only challenge. It is. I set myself the challenge of only signing players who can speak Catalan, and the good thing is that this Ukrainian-born player has spent his entire career in Catalonia and around Barcelona, so he has picked up Catalan as a language. He speaks it on a good level, and we'll take what we can get when it comes to players who start the game able to speak it. I'm happy to have him. He is probably our best striker. It's close between him and the other guy. But the good thing is he's right-footed and he can play, decently well off the left. So I think when we want them both in the team, we'll be able to play either two strikers or we'll have him play off the left. He can also play in the middle if we're playing with an attacking midfielder, which I do believe we will. Pretty good striker. Had a good preseason for us, so I'm pretty sure he's starting the first match for us. But welcome, Vladislav. Next, we have center back Jordi Soleil. He is very young. He's fine. He'll fill in when we need to. I don't expect he'll get much better than this, but if he does, that'll be a bonus. Signed for just $50,000 from Dom. As we talked about at the end of last episode, we really needed to get a couple more center back options, and don't worry, Jordi Soleil will not be starting for us if we can avoid it. He's only a youngster, so he won't expect to play too much, but will be good rotation option. Happy to have him. Next, we have a somewhat better, I think much better center back option, Pau Resta. He'll be playing on the left side next to Villanova as much as we can. He's joined on loan from Sabadell. We're just paying his wages and no fee, so we'll take that. He's left-footed, so he'll play on the left side right next to right-footed Villanova in as many matches as we can get him in. Hopefully he lasts and has a good season with us, and we'll see if we are able to bring him back next year or on a more permanent basis. He's a pretty good player, tall enough, is decent for this level. So welcome, Pal. Next up, we have Ivan Bustamante, another loan signing from Sabadell. That makes 2 in a row. Is just basically cover across the entire front three. He's right-footed, can play all three positions naturally. He's expecting to play as a regular starter, so we'll have to work him in a decent amount if we want to make sure he doesn't get recalled before the end of the season, because we really need to keep these guys here. So he'll be playing a decent amount. Hopefully he can perform. Next, another loan signing, defensive midfielder Yahir Antunes. Pretty good, more of a ball winner than a creative guy, with decent tackling and work rate, and passing is just fine. He'll be playing defensive mid on support. I think both of my defensive mids are going to be DMs on support, so he can play there. Nothing crazy. He's Honduran, but he's also has Spanish nationality. He was born in Honduras, but speaks good Catalan. He's lived a long time, seemingly, in the greater, Barcelona, Catalonia area. So he's here. He'll play. He's decent. If he's got good potential, maybe he can improve and we can get him again on a permanent deal. Next, we have Max Yovera. He is a permanent signing. We got him from CP San Cristobal on a free transfer. He is an Andorran international. He's played 66 games for Andorra. So that's, not the best national team around, but he's got international experience, so we'll take that. Yep, just cover for the center backs. He's fine. Not expecting to play a ton. So we just really needed guys who could play center back. So he's going to be coming in off the bench and filling in when our starters are tired. Next, we have right-sided player Roger Martinez. He is just a right-sided player, can play anywhere up that right wing. Pretty mediocre attributes when you look at him. Is just going to be cover for us at right back or at right wing, or if we really need him to play, he'll play. But hopefully it won't be we won't be needing to use this guy too much. He's here to fill up some space. No offense, Roger. We're happy to have you, but. And finally, our last signing of the window on loan again from Sabadell, Mark Domenech, a defensive midfielder, rotation option, could also fill in as an attacking midfielder going forward, has those similar decent technicals, especially passing technique, vision that you want from a number 10, could fill in if we need him to. But mostly he'll be playing as a rotation center back or center midfield option, defensive mid. He's going to be playing a bunch. Unfortunately, I had to give him important player expectations on the loan agreement in order to get him for not without having to pay the loan fee. He will probably have to start most games. He's good, he's up there. I think all of our midfielders are of comparable level. So if we need to play him and then sub in somebody else just to keep him happy, make sure that he doesn't get recalled. We'll do what we have to do. But yeah, he's looks pretty good. Glad we got him in. We could sign him. He wouldn't be too expensive to sign permanently if we decide that he would be worth it if he starts improving and meeting some of this potential. So yeah, welcome Mark, and we'll see how he does. So as you can see, we have outlaid a total of $1.4 million for transfers, a decent amount of frees, and then a handful of, pretty high fees up to, 250, 200,000, 300,000 for Javi Hernandez. I think that's a decent amount. Might have been a little bit more than I had meant to. I hoped to get more guys on free transfers and loans, but the market just didn't work out. That there just aren't a ton of players available to us is really what it comes down to. So we had to spend some money. Luckily, our owner gave us some, and we stayed within budget. We used just about all of the budget. Our transfer is zero, and we only have about $400 a week left in wage budget room. So that is basically all of the guys we will be able to sign. And I do believe the transfer window is closed. If it isn't, it'll be closed soon. It's September 1st, so I think it closed already. It was a couple days since I last recorded. Pardon me. So, yep, this is the squad, and let's head over to the tactics and see how we'll line up for our first match, and then we'll get into that match. So this is how I think we will be lining up in our first match and into the early part of the season. We've had a pretty good preseason. I'll go to the schedule in a minute to show some of those results. But this is basically what I settled on for how we'll start at least most of the games, especially against opponents that we decide are below us, with a low press, low intensity passing kind of system, high line, low press, just to try to save the legs. We have a pretty small squad, and especially our starters, there's a pretty big drop off. So we want to keep our best guys fresh and playing as many minutes as possible. So whenever we can, we want to be playing this low press tiki taka. I also have a higher press version if we're chasing a game or if we want to, um, you know, change it up a little bit if we're not really creating much and we need just to play 10 minutes at really high intensity. We can do that, but then I'll want to drop it back down to the low press and see if we can see out more games this way. Um, yeah, we have the players for it for the most part. This is basically our best 11 players. With the obviously we have two pretty decent left backs, so Tonio and Arumi will be coming back in fourth. I did say that I think Mark has to start because he's got the important player promise. Yahir Antunes is just a squad player, so even though he is better, we probably aren't going to be able to play him as much. We only have 7 on the bench. We can use 5 of them. As a result, I will likely not be playing with a goalie on the bench. I'm sure that'll come back to bite me. Hopefully, one of these guys, if we really need to, can fill in. But yeah, we're going to be rolling the dice, especially in this season. If we get promoted, we'll have the option to have 12 guys on the bench again. But this year is going to be a little bit tricky with managing our subs. So we'll take the risk when we need to. So as you can see, we played quite a few friendlies, most of them on the road. We did have one match at our brand new stadium at the Bonanova. It was a really impressive, actually, 3-0 win over FC Andorra, who are a second division side at this point. They're not predicted to be a particularly good one, but they start off with guys like Jose Marsa, who has a lot of potential in this game, and that's a second division team worth 16 million. Their best guy probably makes more money than um, you know the vast majority of our squad. I think we only have I think we have a couple players who can match that actually. So maybe our ability is a little higher than I expect. Maybe we have a setup that is going to get us up through the leagues pretty quickly. That would be good to see. We played a couple of our affiliate clubs. This is like an amateur club, so we kind of crushed them, and it would have been way worse if I didn't scale back the intensity and go really just to see out the match and not have any preseason injuries. We had Cornelia are a team in the division above, so happy to draw with them. Probably should have beat Olat. They're professional, but they're not in any league, so they're only a 2-2 was not great. I think we had played pretty rotated there. And then we finished on a nice 4-2 win over Montañesa. We were winning. We were up 4-0 in 38 minutes, and then we took all of our starters off and allowed a couple of second half goals when we had all of our second stringers in. So, really could have been a lot worse. Very productive season, or preseason, that is. In terms of our position in the league, expected, in the season preview, we're still up towards the top. Somehow Alicante are their betting odds are 1 to 10, so I'm not sure if they are just that much better than all the other teams. But we're here in second, 5 to 4 odds. We'll take that. We have the best player in the league in Iker Alvarez. Villanova's up there as well. We just have the two guy, or just the one player in the Dream 11, surprisingly, because Lozano and Gazirovsky there are better, I guess. But Gazirovsky plays for Valencia. Really, it's the B team, but he's a Valencia player. I'm still confident that we'll be able to go up. We just have to either win the league or win the 14 playoff. I'm very confident that we'll finish in the top 5. I really hope it's the top 1. at least. That's what we're going for, is to get out of this division as quickly as possible. Start building the reputation, getting better players, and yeah, and especially looking forward to getting our first youth intake to see what kind of quality that we will have. I've set up the club to have pretty good facilities to start, especially those youth facilities, and hired the best head of youth development that I could. Hopefully that gives us a good boost when we get those young players, that some of them will be able to contribute right away. But we'll see. We'll have to wait until, I guess, March for that. We have to get through this first season first, really, to do that. And what a better way to start our first season than with our first match at home at the brand new Estadi Bonanova, that is currently in progress of already being expanded, if you recall. So it's going to have a slightly diminished capacity at the start, but within the next couple of months, we'll get in even higher capacity of attendance, and hopefully we can fill it and start bringing in some more cash. So I will meet you at the squad selection screen tomorrow. So there's our team going to the first match, and let's jump right in. The first match for FC Català. We're starting at home, so we'll get to take a look at our new stadium, how it looks so far. Zoomed out here as the match starts to see the 4 lovely stands, some palm trees in the background, apartment buildings, right here in the middle of, Barcelona, as we pass it around, regain possession, and so far so good. Looks like we're keeping possession first 10 minutes up to 80% of the possession, passing it around. Not really any chances. As I say that, another free kick, recycled out, cleared, but Tonio picks it up. He's going to cycle the ball around between the midfielders. Regis has it taken away from him, but it's cleared out. Resta picks it up. Dominic over to Villanova. Soldavila back to the goalkeeper Alvarez. To Resta. To Dominic. Soldavila. Up to Regis. Astals. Astals out in the wing. Can he get a cross in? A low cross to Regis. Back to Astals. Tonios puts it over with his weaker right foot. I do believe I specifically told him to shoot less, but we'll take it. That's 2 pretty solid chances, 2 shots, a clear cut, and a half chance, with still over 83, now down to 75% of the possession. So we'll take it. We are playing on comprehensive. We'll see if the season starts getting, if we're looking like, and as I say that, I'm waffling on, and Peque Polo scores the first competitive goal for Català FC in front of the home fans. It is 1-0 Català. You have to say it was deserved. We've been the better team. We are the better team. But as I was saying, I think maybe we'll go to key highlights if it seems like we have a pretty good handle on the league. Another highlight here, Astals. Looks like it's a penalty. No VAR in this league, so I guess it is a penalty. I'm not sure who I set up to take my penalties, and I'm not going to lie. Could be Polo, could be Cap Copatoon. Polo maybe again? Yes, Polo. Has a chance to have a brace within the first 21 minutes of this game, and he does. Right down the middle. Sends the keeper off to the side. Peque Polo with his second of the game already. So far, so good in the opening match of the Català era. Okay, 30 minutes in, I think we'll drop down to balance. We'll leave everything else the same. As you can see, get a closer look at some of our instructions. We're trying to play through the middle. We want to get Hernandez on the ball, and then everyone else can play around him. For, most of our matches, we want to work into the box, play for set pieces, and we're trying to be more expressive, especially when we have the talent advantage. Much shorter and lower tempo, a little bit narrow, keep the players a little closer together, especially just don't want to have them passing too far at this level. They're not great. Hold shape and throwing it long and out of possession, high lines and less often. We do kind of want to prevent them from distributing short, but we don't want them chasing the ball as much. So if we can get them to kick it long without having to expend too much energy, that's ideal for us. So get back into the match. As a highlight starts here, Regis is going to put it into Polo, but I believe that was probably would have been offsides if it did come off. Even if they didn't stop play, put the flag up, and we are coming back in with the attack, maybe? Domenech in the box, across to Regis. Antonio, back to Resta, up to Tonio, who could take it up to the byline, instead pulls it back, crosses into Regis, cleared to Astals. He puts it in. Kopatun could be the first one there, and it's off the outside of the post and out. Neck here, left-footed, delivers in from the corner. Soldavila looks like he's under it. Cleared out. Resta picks it up. Down to Domenech. He puts it in. Regis wide open the back post. And a second chance. Looks like it was a good save by their goalie. Out for another corner for us. See if we can capitalize. And Resta heads it over to end the highlight, likely. Goal kick. 2.5 XG so far for us. Almost nothing created from them. It makes sense. We really are a dominant team, especially at home against this level of competition. That brings us to the half. We're still up 2-0, of course. Things are going well. I'll say we had a lot of shots. I'm very happy. I can't say they're doing poorly. This has been a routine start to the season so far. Looked like Javi Hernandez was looking a little tired, as was Tonio. So we'll keep an eye. We might sub those guys off early-ish in the second half. But otherwise, we'll hop into the second half. And unless something crazy happens, it gets more interesting. We'll just come back for the any other goal highlights and get to the end of the match quickly. We're here in the 64th minute, and they were just awarded a penalty. Montiel's going to take it to cut the lead from 2-1. Let's see if Iker Alvarez can make a good save for us, and he does not. He sent the wrong way. We're back just to 1 up, putting the back on attacking. Did make a couple of subs, center mid and left back, like I had mentioned, so we'll see if that comes back to bite us. Let's make a sub. I think I want to take Domenech off and put on Bolero. He has since become somewhat more capable as a defensive mid, so he actually has 2 gold stars there now, even though he's only awkward or competent or something. So we'll bring him in, and I think we'll also bring in Bustamante for Kopatun. He's had a good game, but he's looking tired as well. Here we have a highlight. The changes haven't gone into effect yet. See if we can get if we score again. If we score here, we'll keep with those changes for sure. But let's see if something happens. Kopatun dribbling across, whips it in, well over, not troubling the goalie even a little bit. And now we'll get those next batch of subs on. 15 minutes or so left. Obviously the XG, we are dominating. We should have more goals than we do. I'm curious to see after the match who has been the most profligate. Probably Polo. Looks like he's got his 2 goals. He might end up having 2.5 or 3 of the XG at this point. As we jump into a highlight here, Stalls up to Skoldavila. Nice and slow, considered. Bayero, Naranjo, Reches. In towards Polo, who heads it in for his hat trick. That looks like it's going to count. The first match of FC Català in the 21st century, a hat trick for Peque Polo. And that was just a beautiful ball in with the left foot from Reches. Pulls it back, gives himself some space, right in towards the back post. Polo gets up, drills it in with the head. 3-1, 2-goal lead once again. Oh, looks like he was well onside, so absolutely love to see it. Polo has earned, the starting striker position for at least the first bunch of games this season. This is a dominant performance. We'll see if he can continue performing like this. He's really, getting plenty of chances. He's missed a few sitters, but you know what? He's got 3 goals, so we can't complain. This should be the end of the match right here. 3 minutes into stoppage time. Just recycling the ball. Villanova's sort of dribbling it around aimlessly up to Soldavila, bringing it into the corner. Is tackled, but that should do it here, folks. We don't get the clean sheet, but we do get the dominant win. Ooh, and we get the dominant win. The dominant win. And the dominant win. There we go. And the match is over. Finally blows the whistle. A routine 3-1 victory for Català. The hat trick for Peque Polo. Just, complete domination. 74% of the ball. Just in a different class here, which is good to see. That's going to make that bodes well for the rest of our season, especially with this as the first match when our team cohesion is at the absolute lowest it could possibly be. All these guys playing their first ever match together, putting together a great performance. And there we have it, friends. A dominant 3-1 over Alzira. Routine, to say the least. Next up, we have Valencia B away. We'll see what kind of players they're, able to bring out. It's always interesting when you play B teams. You never really know who's going to be playing for them. Obviously, they should be good. And because Valencia are in the top tier, if Valencia play well this season, Valencia B, that is, they could also be promoted with us. So they're a promotion rival. So coming out beating them would be great. I think we'll come back here for a couple of matches later in September. We'll come back for Andrax at home and then Alicante away, as they are expected to be one of our top promotion rivals at this level. They're a good team. They're obviously expected to be right up there with us. Even the media thinks that they're better than us by quite a bit. So we'll come and see if we can hang with them. But that's going to do it for me today, friends. Thanks for watching. As always, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks. See ya.